Hi out there in Blab and U2 Lamb. We're recording. A couple seconds of silence. Welcome to WP-Tonic, episode 64. Today we're going to be talking about WordPress and how to make your website really fast. This is part 2. The first part we had Andy Adams. Did I say that right? Andy Adams? Close. Something like that, right? Gosh, it's been a long day. I've had 9 shows. Anyway, I got to make Jonathan laugh, so he's not correcting me, so we'll drive on. So today we're going to talk about the tools that make your website fast. Basically, Andy was talking about the most important thing is your platform, of course, your host, provider. And if you don't have a good provider, you can't make it fast. If you've got a bad provider that's giving you minimal bad bandwidth and not moving your site back and forth, that's the start. But then from there's a bunch of tools and ways to track it and test it. Hey, Jonathan, why don't you go into this episode and we'll go right up to the plugins and we'll see how it works. And then we'll have a break and we'll start episode number 65 and talk about the plugins today. And if you're watching live out there on Blab, we're using Blab IM. So it's my favorite platform. It's the quickest way to create podcasts these days.
Yeah, you're a bit stressed out, the wizard, aren't you?
I've been working a lot. I'm on 9 shows this week, and I've got a new show starting on Sunday, which is called Meet the People's Press. Oh, and it's at 9:15 right after Meet the Press, and we've got the right and the left on, and it's going to be a full-blown show. Been working hard on that.
All right, there you go. So basically the topic is how to turn your WordPress website into a real speed machine. And as what Andy said, there's a number of reasons why your WordPress website could not be a speed machine and more of a snail. One of the main things is like what you said, Bill, hosting. Hosting is important. And you do get what you pay for to some extent. There's a lot of hosting providers out there. I'm just going to quickly go through some that I think I haven't used them all. I personally think it's a good idea to use a hosting provider that provides us a specialized WordPress hosting package. It could be shared hosting, but it's been set up for WordPress, or it's supposed to be. I think I haven't used them, but I've had a few people say really good things, and so did Andy, is DreamHost. And when you look at the specification that they're offering and you look at the price, it is the best value specialized WordPress hosting available on the market at the present moment. They use a slightly different version of a server technology. It's a slightly superior than Apache, and they use other technologies. They're using solid disk drives as well. And for the price, I think it's slightly under $20 a month. It's a pretty attractive package. And then,
before we go on DreamHost, at the LA WordCamp, DreamHost was right next to us. We got to talk to him. Sometimes I wonder, though, a lot of people are saying a lot of good things about DreamHost. But sometimes I wonder if it's just that little group you're around, though we are around some of the best folks in WordPress, of course. But everyone is talking very highly of DreamHost, saying they're number one right now, at least the people we hang out with.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bill. And, they can get a bit overwhelmed as well. I've heard that said about a lot. On to the next slide.
One last thing on that price. I think that's just per one website, isn't it? You can't have, like on Bluehost, you can't have an unlimited number of websites, like an IP address.
I would presume you're right, yeah.
I think it is. Okay, go on.
On to some people I have used myself, SiteGround. They're based in Bulgaria, but don't hold that against them. They're pretty effective, and their actual support is pretty amazing. And they've got a pretty good reputation. They're very aggressive in their growth. They do offer substantial discounts when you first start with them, but they're, on some of their packages, there can be a considerable jump in price after the initial year. They do offer email and telephone support, and their email support is pretty amazing. It's in a forum setup, but they normally answer in less than minutes. And the quality of their staff is pretty good. It's only you do have to get a seller. Looking for the right word, Bill. Put up higher in the if the initial person can't help you, you put up higher.
You get elevated for the support. Yeah, but by the way, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for that. Bit of a brain fart.
It's Thursday, long day, long week.
I think it's been a long week for both of us.
Yeah, it has been. Let's say about DreamHost real fast too. That was one of the complaints about DreamHost. Really great, solid state, really fast, but everything you can't call somebody for customer service.
No, it's email.
It's not like a newbies type of. It's not where you'd put a new person in WordPress.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah.
So,
and then there's the LA company called InMotion Hosting. They were at Los Angeles. They're pretty. They've got a pretty good reputation as well. If you look at their spec, it's solid. It's solid drives, solid hard drives, and the spec looks pretty good. But they seem pretty friendly, and I have had some discussions with them, but I haven't used them actively myself. Then on to a more specialised Flywheel. They're a bit like WP Engine, Bill. They've got some really good features. They will migrate your site for no charge. But I say that InMotion Hosting does that, I think, as well. But Flywheel will move your website for you onto their hosting area. And I've just recently moved my major website, and I can tell you that after going through the process, they've been quite attractive. They're not the cheapest, though.
Who'd you move them to?
Me?
Where'd you move to? Yeah.
I moved to a small hosting company that doesn't but I'm on a VPS, a virtual private server.
Jonathan has moved around quite a bit this year, it seems.
No, only twice, actually, Bill.
Once you're on WP Engine, who is next, right? You've had WP Engine.
Yeah, they're great. Don't get me wrong. It's like, but it was around the secure socket certificate at the time, Bill. I started off with them, and they got some great features, but I needed the whole site. I wanted the whole site to have what is called a wild card secure socket certificate, because I knew in the future I wanted to do subdomains, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to jump plans. Their base plan, which I think is around $29.99. The thing with WP-Tonic, WP Engine, is it's great support and they've got a great reputation.
Right.
But the jump between the 29 is quite considerable. You're getting near $1,200 a year when you go up to the next plan, because I think it's a touch under $90 a month, Bill, and that's for shared. It's very optimized and it's very good quality, but the reality is it's still shared hosting at almost $90 a month if you have to jump plans, Bill. And they were saying to me I needed a jump plan. So that's why I moved, Bill. I moved to,
So, Jonathan, we're on Blab right now. We're getting some nice little input from Kim. Kim, thank you for your input. She's spread out. She says she uses both SiteGround and the WP Engine, but she also mentioned InMotion.
Oh, she talk about me. She's jumping around, isn't she?
No. She says she's hosting in two different places. I'm looking at that I've got 14 web pages, and I'm looking at that for my my money web pages, putting those in one place.
The Empire. I don't know. All right.
I'm going to add 2 more too. Me and Genesis, we can produce web pages pretty fast.
Yeah. Right. On to, so basically we started with hosting,
Right.
and then if you get your site up and you think it is slow, there are some really good online tools
To test, right? We're going to test those sites to figure out which one's the best.
I'm just going to point out something. It's a bit like when we were talking about SEO. Yoast is great, but don't get hanged up by trying to get that green light in Yoast, because that green light, actually, you can get really hanged up on that. And it's just a very broad indicator. Really, they'd be so best if they got rid of that. And it's a bit of the same with Google page speed insights. You can get really hanged up in trying to get it, into the high 80s, 90s. And you can get yourself into a bit of a pickle, as I would say, trying to achieve that, Bill. So it's great, Google page speeds. And because they're the masters of search, keeping them reasonably happy isn't a bad idea, but don't get totally carried away by it. There's some other nice tools which Pingdom.com do a really nice tool, and when we put the full set of notes up, folks, all these links will be available.
And I'm in the process right now. We use Slack. I'm opening up our attachment from Slack, so for those folks watching, we had up to 10. We can drop in these links right now. So if you're watching us live.
And Pingdom I really like the Pingdom tool. It's quite nice. And then one that Andy and recently I've been using, because I've been working recently with Andy, and he did a great job, and he was an absolute pleasure to work with. Very professional, and I can't highly rate him more. I wish more of the people I worked with were like him. But he put me on to another one called Web Page Test, and that's pretty good as well, Bill. That's pretty good. And the other one that's pretty popular is GT Metrics. They all do a pretty good job. I like my Pingdom tool, but it's personal preference, Bill.
Right. Hey,
So
go ahead.
Sorry, Bill. So they give all good indication. So when you put your site and it comes up, what you're going to see, well, it depends. Milliseconds are important. If it takes, it's taking a second, 2 seconds to load up, you've got a major problem. Why would that happen, you say? Well, one of the factors is where you got your theme from. Did you themes are not all the same. They some are bloated, slow loading dogs, and others are lean, mean Genesis machines, aren't they, Bill? I got him to laugh.
I saw a theme.
He's been a bit grim this folks.
I was helping out somebody back in Atlanta the other day, and she's got this theme from hell. I can't even think of the name of it. But it had like 30 plugins in there, and I'm amazed at all those are all premium plugins they've got in there. And it does everything. It's like it's got like 5 sliders in it. It's designed, set up for a online school printer type thing.
Yeah.
Where it's a school where you drop in your school training, and it's a membership site. But it has 5 sliders. Like, oh my gosh, it's got so much stuff. She's pretty good at graphics, but I look at this thing and it's like, I said, that's all she can do is work on that one theme. It's going to die someday.
It's not like your beloved Genesis, is it, Bill?
I just like, WordPress could die and Genesis will still be there. We know that. We'll still be developing.
It's good stuff.
That's impressive.
I'm only teasing you, Bill.
I know. I'm having fun with Blab here, though.
I've got to get some pleasure from somewhere. There's very little other pleasure in my life.
And I'm pretty good because I haven't had a lot of sleep. I'll have good sleep tonight, a lot of melatonin. 5 slides. Kim's saying, yeah, there's like, at least it seems like there's 5 sliders in this.
Oh, yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about.
I'll think of the name. It's known, too. It's a known theme.
Yeah, I know that
GL2 licensing, you get a developer license in one of these plugins, and you just like, it had everything. It had gravity forms in it.
Yeah. So, in my notes, Chris Lima, the famous Chris Lima.
Yep. We'll see him in Sacramento.
He does a nice little blog where he talks about different themes, and that will be in my notes. And you can mosey over to the great Chris, which he's going to be at WordPress Sacramento, isn't he, Bill?
Yep. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a nice one-day event. Really nice.
Are you going to get any sleep before you drive us down there, Bill?
No, I'm just going to stay up all night with caffeine.
So basically,
we have 9 people going, and only 7 can fit in the vehicle, so you have to get in top.
You're going to put me there anyway.
And skis in the back.
You find some excuse anyway, would you? You love me, Bill, don't you? I love you as well. Basically, so to get serious, we've all done it. I've done it. We've all gone to Theme Forest. There's an enormous selection here. You do your best. You do your read up. I always send, if I'm going to use one of their themes, I have to be recommended now, and I get somebody that's used it, and then I send the person a couple email before I buy it just to see if they respond. I've gone to some other theme shops, and I won't name names, but I've had some dicey experiences there as well. So, I am warming to the Genesis fold quite considerably.
Yeah, and a lot of people are. It's got to make sense. Hey, Jonathan, we got to drive through this because we have to talk about plugins on the next show today. It will be up next. This one's going up this weekend.
So let's go on to the last couple of things. One of the main things that really slows down the site is images, because most people are on really quite quick broadband on their desktop. What I feel you should do is import your image in as a reasonable size, sort out how you're going to use it, get your website, the pages you're not going to change, get it all set out, and then you're probably going to have to go back and take measurements there. For Chrome and Firefox, there's a couple measuring tools, free plugins. Measure some of the images and then crop them to that specific size. Obviously, some people will cringe at this because of responsive needs, especially if you're going from big to small. There are some plugins. Oh, got a guess. Hello. Kim.
You're on WP-Tonic. It'll be on the podcast on Sunday. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
Kim has put in some really good information. Where are you from, Kim?
I'm from Florida. Jonathan, we met. I did the How to Build Online courses at the WordCamp Las Vegas. We met
I
there.
wish I'd gone. Oh.
And I was so happy to see you online and jump in.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to build online courses. It's really a lot of work.
Well, Bill, let's talk, because that's what I do. That's what I help people with. I've been following you, so now let's connect further.
Will do. I'm working on them. I put a lot of little short skits up on YouTube just playing, and I'm using ScreenFlow, but having a lot of fun.
And I would say, Jonathan heard my presentation, I use ScreenFlow too. I love YouTube. If you truly want to do a full-out course, you need to involve a little bit more than that as far as more audience interaction, because a true online course isn't just a YouTube channel.
John Line, next month, I think this should be the topic next month. What do you think?
Let's make it. I'll be here.
You can come on for our guest speaker next month.
I would love to. Are you kidding?
All right, Kim. We'll finish this up. Let's stay on, and we're going to finish this up real fast. Go ahead, Jonathan.
So basically, images are a bit of a form, because responsive design hasn't really come fully to a system of handling different screen sizes when it comes. There is a couple of plugins that deal with the contradictions of responsive design when it comes to imaging, but having really large crop, and one thing you really don't want to do is crop your image using the WordPress internal crop tool. I think it's best, it's best to settle at a certain resolution size of a screen, and then if it gets smaller, your biggest concern is the site functions on tablets and mobile phones. That's where the biggest growing audience is.
Right.
But really optimizing your imaging, after you got everything settled down, really concentrating on image sizes and weights and getting that balance between size and quality is well worth the effort.
Yep.
And most people that don't do this for a living tend to forget about that. And websites are becoming more and more image heavy, image focused, and some of these themes that you just talked about, Bill, where they've got big sliders, you've got everything on the home page. They are they can become enormously monstrous in their image size.
Yeah, if you just listen to Pat Flynn's recent episode, I'm pretty sure it's this one, the last one. He talks about images being now on blog sites half of the site.
Yeah, easy.
Writers want to write a lot, but actually they're getting better viewer participation and better followership when they have at least half images. And then you got to tag your images. And that's really a discussion for another show. In fact, this is a good transition to go to the next show, which is all about plugins and speed. It's our last one. Kim, anything you want to say real fast about plugins? Not before we go to plugins, about speed, any recommendations? You did have one host that we didn't mention.
No, you guys had the hosts that I do. I spread mine. I have a ton of different sites, and because I evaluate them all, I do SiteGround, InMotion, and WP Engine. I think the three of them do a good job. I'll be honest, I am still learning how to optimize images for today's internet. I started coding in 1995, and of course in 1995, 1996, 1997, we really had to go small on the images. And then we went like really big with high speed, and now we really need to start optimizing again. We've gone crazy, and I'm one who's still learning. So if you guys are going to put something up here to teach me, I'll be here to learn.
Well, on the next show, we'd love to have you come back on. So we're going to start that in a second. Jonathan, any final thoughts?
No, we're just going to finish off a couple of things and then go on to some plugin I can't talk.
Neither can I. We're both very tired. We've been working a lot of hours, both of us. Jonathan has like 6 SaaS. He's got one big SaaS product, but it's really 6 in my book.
I've been making a lot of sales calls.
Reputation management.
I need help, Bill, because
I'm telling you, you cannot be doing your sales and doing development and running development crews at the same time. You can't do that.
I'm going to have to seek your advice on this, Bill.
You can't do that. You got to get out of that mode as fast as you can, because the biggest problem we have, and this is a whole different story, is you can't do it all. I try to do it all. You can't do it. I love working on websites. I love production, predicting. I like the whole industry, but you can't do it all. You got to delegate out some of this work.
You would have found it quite hilarious if you had been listening in, Bill, today.
Yeah, we're actually doing a third show today. This is the first, the second. We're doing a show. We have a real estate show that we do. It's called the Mailrite Real Estate Show, and that's going to be the third show up today. So we haven't caught up. That'll be the fun in the last show. Well, Kim, thank you for coming on. Everyone,
thanks for having me, guys.
See you later.
Take care.